So you're interested in buying a mountain bike. Congratulations! Your new mountain bike will allow you to discover places you have never seen and become part of an amazing community, all while participating in a healthy hobby that has the potential to become a lifestyle. But first, you have to buy your bike. Bike shopping can be an overwhelming process. Bikes aren't cheap, and they are one of those things where you really do get what you pay for. With countless buyer's guides and opinions on the internet, it's easy to become overloaded with information. This is why I recommend taking a trip to your local bike shop. In my case, that would be the Trek Superstore in La Mesa, California. Chances are, your local shop will know your local trail system and be able to recommend the best bike for your type of trails. If you are lucky enough to live in an area with a diverse trail system, the buying process may become a little more complicated. Here's a quick look at the 5 main types of bikes and a short explanation on what type of trails they are meant to ride. Right, here we have, this is kind of a mixed category. We're going to look at an entry level / cross country. Now with cross country, I know I'm going to have some people say, that's not a cross country bike. Well, yeah, it is, it isn't. The main thing with cross country bikes is you're going to have lower travel. There are cross country bikes that are going to come into full suspension. That's fine. But a lot of people who are riding cross country are specifically riding hardtails. Hardtails are also generally our entry level bikes. These are the bikes that you can find for much cheaper. As low as $500. I think this one retails at $1,200, and you're just going to get some nicer components. The one thing I will say when you are looking at a bike, if it's going to be between $500 to $600, $600, $700, $100 difference, get the hydraulic disc brakes. It will make a huge difference in your riding. With the geometry on this bike, you're going to be over the bars a little bit more. Your fork doesn't have as much travel. It's 100 millimeters opposed to the 130, 140, 150, 160 we're going to find in some of the other categories. And you do have a few more gearing options. This is one of the few bikes where you're actually going to get a front derailleur, whereas when we're looking at trail, enduro, all mountain, those are all going to be single up front with 11 to 12 speeds in the back. So for someone who's learning how to mountain bike, who's new to the sport, and you're just not quite sure what you're going to ride yet, this is a great way to start, especially if you're on a tight budget. So here we're looking at the Trek Fuel EX. This one is the 9.7. Once again, this is a middle of the road bike. You could bump up to the 9.8, or you can go down to the aluminums. And you can find the aluminums in the mid 3000s, just like the rest of the bikes that we're looking at today. Whereas if you want to go carbon, it's going to be a little bit more. So this is what we would call a trail bike. Trail bikes can come in a variety of wheel sizes. Some you'll see 27.5, some you'll see 29. This one's 29, and I think 29 is more common now than 27.5 for the trail bike, because it does have that extra rollability, we'll call it, when you're encountering obstacles such as small rock gardens and whatnot. This is your do-all, ride-all bike. If you have a lot of mixed terrain in your area, if you have a good mix of climbing, downhill, cross-country, or if you're just not sure what type of terrain you want to ride yet, this is a great jumping point. This is where you want to start. And then once you have ridden a trail bike for a while, you may realize, I'm more of a cross-country rider, or I'm more of an enduro rider, and then you can make that switch and that decision for a bike that's going to be more of a single discipline. But if you're new to mountain biking, or if you just have a variety of trails, the trail bike right here is the way to go. You're looking at 130 travel, front and rear, so it's not quite as aggressive as the bikes that we're going to find in that all-mountain and enduro category, but it's plenty of travel to get you through most terrains. Maybe not a bike park, depending on what type of rider you are. I would say that's the only limitation. So next we have the Trek Remedy. This is very much an all-mountain bike. It's not quite as long as an enduro bike may be. It's not quite as slacked out, and instead of the 29 wheel size that you're going to find in most enduro bikes now, this one has a 27.5. And what that does for you is it makes the bike a little bit more playful. With the bike being a little bit shorter wheelbase, the smaller wheel size is going to pedal a little bit easier. So when you're not just doing straight up and straight down, and you have a good variety, this is the type of bike that you're looking at. So this one is coming in at $41.99. This is the 9.7, which does get you some carbon. This is kind of the middle of the Remedy class. You can get one for much cheaper, I think as low as $3,500. And if you want to go with the Remedy 9.8, you're going to have a little bit of a higher price point. So once again, looking at any type of bike, you can get a very, very good bike in that $3,000 to $4,000 range. You don't have to spend top of the line money to get a very good bike. So right here we're looking at the Trek/98, and this is a full-on enduro bike. So the thing that separates an enduro bike from an all-mountain bike is mostly going to be the suspension. Could also include the head angle. So this is going to be a little bit more slack. We have a lot more travel on this. We're looking at 150, 160. And it's going to be a bit more slack up front. You have a bigger angle right here, so you're going to be a little bit further back on the bike. And what that's going to do is allow you to go downhill a lot faster and a bit more comfortably, instead of having your body over the bars, where it's a lot more likely that you're going to go over the bars. So while this one comes in at just over $5,900, you can get an enduro bike for much cheaper. I believe the /8 comes in at just under $3,700. So unless you're looking for the fully spec'd out bike, the 98 is not what you have to go with. If you want an enduro bike, but you're not willing to put up that amount, there's still options. Like I said, the /8 comes in at just under $3,800 or just under $3,700, and the main difference is you're getting aluminum instead of carbon. And unless you are really riding multiple times per week, doing races, and hitting it very, very, very hard, carbon's probably not necessary for you.
There we go.
All right, the last category that we're going to look at is the downhill category. This is a very specific bike, and unless you're riding bike parks on a regular basis, this is not the bike for you. These things are terrible to pedal. They do not pedal flat. They do not pedal uphill. They go downhill and downhill only. So once again, unless you are riding a lift-served bike park on a regular basis, downhill is out. And that's all I'm going to give you on the downhill bike, because if you have one or if you're researching them, you already know the rest. Whatever style of bike you decide to ride, remember that you do not have to break the bank, and that each bike is designed to be ridden on a certain terrain. The most important thing is to pick a bike that you will have fun riding. Happy shopping, and we'll see you on the trails.